5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I certainly want to thank the Chairman and the Ranking Member for their leadership on this legislation, and I want to thank the staff for working with me on this amendment. Mr. Chairman, my amendment increases the Coast Guard operating expenses by $5.2 million to address search and rescue capabilities in the Great Lakes region. Search and rescue is one of the Coast Guard's oldest missions, dating back to the U.S. Revenue Cutter Service that was founded in 1790. Today, Coast Guard search and rescue response involves multi-mission stations, cutters, aircrafts, and boats linked by communication networks that also include over 5,000 commercial vessels that provide a voluntary global response force. Using these assets in the past year, the Coast Guard has responded to over 6,468 search and rescue cases, assisting over 10,000 people and saving over 1,400 lives. Just last week, Mr. Chairman, 2 young women were saved by the Coast Guard air assets on Lake Michigan. Unlike the President's budget that makes dramatic cuts to critical search and rescue operations, this amendment would increase our nation's search and rescue capabilities by adding funding for needed assets vital to life-saving capabilities. Mr. Chairman, these investments build on previous investments that specifically increase capability in the Great Lakes to include the installation of Rescue 21 this past December. Rescue 21 is now standing watch on over 42,000 miles of coastline, improving the Coast Guard's ability to assist mariners in distress and save lives and property. Further, by the end of this fiscal year, the Coast Guard will have delivered the last of 3 new long-range response boats to the Great Lakes area and will enhance response capabilities. Mr. Chairman, the Great Lakes is one of the most popular recreation areas in our country, and the Coast Guard is a vital part of making it safe for thousands each year. We can't stand by and allow the administration to eliminate life-saving efforts on our Great Lakes. I certainly urge support for this amendment, and I do want to yield the remaining time I have to my good friend, the gentleman from Michigan, who has been instrumental in assisting me in this amendment, Mr. Heisinger.
Well, and I thank my good friend from Illinois for yielding. And we, Mr. Chairman, not only serve on the Financial Services Committee together, we also share a Great Lake. Michigan is uniquely situated, literally bordering all 5 of the Great Lakes: Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, Lake St. Clair, Lake Ontario. And 4 of those are actually international boundary waters with thousands of miles of shoreline that are on there, dozens of ports throughout the Great Lakes, and I might add that they are aptly served by the District 9 commander out of Cleveland, as he is juggling all of the various assets that the Coast Guard has. But I do reject the plans by this administration to decrease the search and rescue capabilities in the Great Lakes. This vital amendment restores funding in order to maintain the level of capability that has been present in the Great Lakes for many years, and it's been much needed, Mr. Chairman. As the gentleman noted, these funds combined with offsets in this bill address shortfalls that this administration has actually advocated for. So Coast Guard search and rescue in all of the Great Lakes cannot be shortchanged. And as we see an example after example, whether it be by boat or by helicopter in Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake St. Clair, Lake Ontario, some of the busiest boating traffic, recreational as well as commercial traffic that we see anywhere in the world concentrated in that area. And I urge a yes vote on this amendment and yield back the balance of my time to the gentleman.
And I thank the gentleman for his help. I do urge my colleagues to support this amendment. It is common sense legislation. We cannot afford to have search and rescue capabilities be diminished. It certainly, as we look at the number of recreational boaters, it's a vital part of making sure that we're saving lives in the Great Lakes region.
Would the gentleman yield?
I certainly shall yield to the chairman.
Oh, yes, Mr. Chairman, I would want to commend the gentleman from Illinois and from Michigan for their commitment for search and rescue, and we would gladly accept their amendment. I yield back.
I yield back.
Gentleman from Illinois yields back. Does anyone else seek recognition? If not, the question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Illinois. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, and the amendment is agreed. What purpose the gentleman from Alaska rise?
I move to strike